Well, hey, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. It's Perry Hensley Slab Happy Lures. Wanted to come with you and talk a little bit about equipment that we used this past week when we went down to Chickamauga Lake, down there next to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'd just like to go over and let you guys know how we caught them, what we caught them on, our equipment that we use. Of course, um, it was me and Lewis Gibson, the crappie preacher, on his new Ranger boat, which was nice. Boy, it was nice being out on his boat. And but anyway, just wanted to come with you and share with you what we were using, how we were fishing for those fish, and we ended up getting. I'm guessing now. I'm going to say we caught 70 fish. You know, that day we we managed to fill the live well up with a 2-man limit um, by 1 o'clock. We may have got on the water about 8 o'clock or so, maybe a little bit earlier than that. I don't want to lie to you, but it was daylight anyway. And but anyway, let me get started with that. Again, go check us out online, slabhappyluresonline.com, and check out our YouTube here. Go and check out the Crappie Preacher's channel on YouTube. Also, his name's Lewis Gibson. He's a preacher from North Carolina. He pastors the Cowboy Church over there, and he's a real good friend, and I enjoy fishing with him a lot. And but anyway, let me get started here. Um, what we caught fish on about almost everything we threw. We caught at least one on it, but sometimes you would use that color, and um, then all of a sudden, you'd have to switch, to continue getting bites again. And that's what we did throughout the morning there. We just kept switching back and forth, and different styles. Sometimes we threw the happy shad. We threw it most of the day. Excuse me. But uh, then we switched over to, the slab magnums here. That is Black Widow. That's the exact color that I caught most of the fish on um, at one point. I must say, because like I said, it would work for a while, and you'd have to switch up. Now the slab magnum of ours, um, it's a little bulkier than our competitor, and I'm not knocking, our competitor at all. They make great baits that work great, and they're proven time and time again to be great baits. And but and this is really a good one right here. Um, it's segmented, so you can just, you know, whatever you don't need, see the segments in it there. Well, say that the fish are finicky, you just, you bite it off, or I don't recommend that, but you can cut it off, or you can even pinch it off with your fingernails, and just shorten that bait, as short as you want. Not just the body, but also, the tail. There you get the tail's even segmented, and you can shorten it up that way. But anyway, that was the color pattern that really produced for us pretty good there. Another one that Lewis started out using and done real good on, and we actually switched back and forth to it again throughout the morning, but it was our mossback. It's actually a monkey milk chartreuse bait. As you can see, it's called moss back because it's got the chartreuse on the back part of it. And that, and we also used or I did for a little bit, um, caught a couple on the peppered pearl, which is kind of like a monkey milk pearl color there. I don't know if you can see it, there we go. It don't have all the little black sparkles, like your standard monkey milk's got, but it does the job. Pearl's always a pretty good color. Um, do a lot on pearl. Another one that I didn't even think about using that Lewis actually used a little bit later in the morning was the old topaz shad. It's got the I call it the glacier glitter in it, the longer you know glitter particles, and the transparent blue. It's got it on the back. Um, it also works great. That's also a great color that the old fisherman, loves to use for crappie in South Carolina. If you don't know who he is, you can look him up. He's got a YouTube channel called The Old Fisherman. Good guy. Good guy. He's a straight up guy. I'll tell you that. But anyway, when that wasn't working, I swapped back and forth with my different size ACC crappie sticks. That's the one thing that we both used, pretty much all day there. You can't, they go with us everywhere. Lewis, I think, was using an 8-footer. Me, I started off using my 6-footer, and if I can find it here. Don't even know that I brought it. Yeah, here it is. This is actually my 6-footer. Again, the ACC crappie sticks I showed on the other video. Paired up with my Sienna reels. I really enjoy the Shimano Siennas because they're cheap, they're light, they're decent reels. More often than not, you're not casting very far anyway when you're out in a boat, and you're on brush, or you're getting I try not to get closer than 25 to 30 feet, from what I'm going to pitch at. But these work great. Now these will boat flip a good crappie, and but I don't recommend that you take a little 6-foot reel, 6-foot rod, and try to boat flip that 2.5, 3 pound fish. It's just as great as it is, it's got its limits. And uh, you're just going to stress your rod out. And another thing you need to check for, is um, you need to check for nicks in your rod. If you got any little nick or anything that has kind of struck it kind of hard, sometimes you'll set the hook, or you'll flip that 1/4 ounce jig back, or even a split shot like I use, which is most people says is a no. I use it anyway, but um, you'll flip that 1/4 ounce head back in, or something like that, and you'll strike the rod in certain places, and that becomes a fault point in that rod. That's going to be a weak spot, and you got to check for that stuff. You can't go off blaming ACC for that. Just be mindful of that. But anyway, we love our ACC crappie sticks. Use them. JD and I use them every tournament. We use them when we're just out joy fishing. That is like I say, my 6-footer, 2-piece, and it has great sensitivity to be a 2-piece rod. I'll tell you right now, it's an awesome little 2-piece rod, and compact, and you want to throw it in the car and take off, and you're not in your truck or anything, and it's a great rod all the way around. Again, I use my 8-footer. This is my 8-foot ACC, and it's carrying braid because I pitch a lot of these swim baits. And I'll show you here in a minute. Sometimes I'll cut these 2.8s down a little bit. and they work great that way too. It's just a little hint when they're not wanting to strike the big baits, and you want to catch the bigger fish. Not that you can't catch little fish. I mean, big baits is going to catch bigger fish, um, but that's not always the case. It can go the other way too. Um, I've seen it happen. I've experienced it. But that's my 8 footer, and I used that one too, and used my 11 footer. Of course, I love to use the Renegade hair jig. That's a 132nd, 132nd Renegade extreme hair jig. I might add chartreuse and black. I caught a couple on this. Um, Also that day, and of course it's paired with the Shimano FX, and it's braided line too. This is a 12-pound gliss, really good line. Um, and I mentioned the line also that I've not really had a chance to dive into really, really deep. The Hooker's Terminal Tackle line, um, the 8-strand braid. Um, I had it on my prototype, reel, and I recently stripped it. I'm gonna re-spool it here pretty soon. Excuse me. But anyway, those are the baits. Like I said, we've changed off and on all day. Had 70 fish at least. We didn't keep count as far as that goes. But we know you had double live wells. We had a 2-man limit by at least 1 o'clock, maybe a little after 1. And we caught fish and had a great time. And we caught a lot of open water fish. That's my favorite way to catch them. You could have trolled down through there. You could have trolled, uh, back in these creeks. I think the fish were coming, off the bed, and they're kind of staged out there in the water, in a water column about, 10, 15 feet, or most of them. And I think they're doing that before they go, out to deeper water or get into their summer pattern. And, but yeah, you could have easily trolled back and forth, all day long, and had good success with it, I think. Uh, but I'm not big on trolling. If that's the only way I can catch them, I'll do it. But I love to just pitch to those, open water fish, or find you a little bit of brush, and sometimes they'll be hanging on the bottom. The crappie will, and you can drop your lure to the bottom. Now, back before live scope, what I used to do is I would start at 8 feet. I'd do the countdown method, and I would cast, and let that lure fall to an 8 count. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, and till I got to 8, and I would start right there. But if I would look at my old hummingbird. I think it's what is it? I think it's a 561. The old hummingbird I had. I would find the fish, and I would find the depth of the water, and I would start at the halfway point of the water, um, and go from there. Up or down, either way. Or I would cast, let it go to the bottom, and lift it up about 2 feet off the bottom. And what I'm getting at with that is, when we were fishing the other day, you can see the crappie kind of standing up a little bit, and then there's the bottom. You see kind of a head sticking up. It looks like just a little point, and you'll run that by that fish, and that fish will all of a sudden come up off the bottom, and start after your bait, and you can catch them that way. But if you don't have live scope, just throw it on the bottom, jerk it up one good time, and start reeling real slow back to you. And I caught a lot of fish doing that before I had live scope. A lot of the open water fish. That's the way I caught them. But anyway, I love to open water fish now, and um, we had to break out of our comfort zone of shooting docks and everything like that to get better at it. But it's paid off. Sometimes you got to bite the bullet and don't just continuously, you know, making that definition of insanity, choice of doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. You're wasting time, and you don't need to waste time on the water when you're tournament fishing anyway. And everybody's time is precious, and you don't need to waste it while you're out there having fun with your family and stuff. And anyway, like I said, Lewis and I, we had a ball. Um, um, can't wait to get back down there and get maybe get with JD and go back down there again for another trip, or get with Lewis again and go for another trip. But anyway, all this stuff you can find on our website. Like I said, the slab magnums. We now have them in pro packs where you get 12, 12 for the price of 10 right now, and that gives you a bonus of 2 baits, and they're great baits. The Happy Shad, of course, is one of the shad style baits that's everywhere. But ours are scented. Every one of our baits are scented, and it's scented with a Procure bait scent that we add to them. But really good baits, and again, our Renegade hair jigs. The most common that we sell would be the 1/16. I wanted to mention also the actual jig heads that we make. I don't sell anymore. I don't make and sell. But if you're looking for a real good jig, a jig head, you can get them at Tom's Sporting Goods here locally. But you can also, I watch Wired for crappie. We fish with Matt Zenas there in the crappie club, and he's a big fan of light wire hooks. Look them up, or contact Matt and, say, hey, I need to get a hold of the light wire guy. I know we recently actually handed it off to 2 different people, 2 other people to run his business for him, but it was Curtis Hobbs, and he'll make you, any style, any size lead head that you want, any color that you want. And that's another thing. When you're fishing brush, you really need a light wire hook. A lot of people, you can get a light wire and a sickle. A lot of people, love the sickle hooks. I'm iffy about it. I'll use the sickle, but usually if I'm going to open water fish and I know there's going to be bigger fish, I'll tie on a head that I pour myself in with a sickle hook, but it's a mustad sickle hook. It's a steel hook, and you definitely don't want to be using those if you want to get your hook back. You don't want to be, or you want to leave your brush in the water. You don't want to be using those around brush. They're more of an open water type situation that you want to use those for. But anyway, let's see. I was surprised that I didn't get any. I don't think I caught any on our just real flamingo that day. But the trip before, which was about 2 weeks before, Lewis and I went down there. JD and I went down there and had a 2-man limit by 12 o'clock. And we're culling out. And 90% of them came on that just real pink flamingo. It's got the pearl body, and it's got kind of a pearl dust on top, and it did great the last time we were there, but it didn't do so great this time. Of course, it was cloudy when we fished it last time, so that always factors into your baits. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here and let you guys know that you can get all this, on Slab Happy Lures online. You can go to ACC Crappie Sticks and just get you a phenomenal rod over there. Are they a little pricey compared to what you find at Walmart? But yes, but everything else is. A lot of people can't compete with Walmart's prices on it, but these are great rods, and they're all over the country. Everybody's got them. They're the go-to rod if you tournament fishing. Um, they're strong. They got great backbone. Like I said, you want to know your limits though. You don't want to be uh, flipping that 3 pounder in with a 6 foot rod. You know, um, I wouldn't mind to flip a 3 pounder in probably with my 11 foot rod, but it's a bigger rod, and or my 8 foot rod, would probably do that. But you know, know your limits on your equipment, and go from there. And it's best not to cast any shade if you have a bad experience. At one time, because maybe it's our fault. Maybe it's your own fault that you broke that rod, or you tore that piece of equipment up. We can't expect 100%, and we're not being real about it. You know what I'm trying to say here. But anyway, let me show you the swim baits while I'm thinking of it here. What I'll do is let me get my box. I take every one of these boxes with me, so that is the Pollywog 2.8 swim bait slap happy lures. That is the one that LaRue Isom took the money in the ACC Crappie Sticks tournament back in April. We're proud of that, but sometimes that's too big a bait, and what I've done here is you can take a pair of scissors and you can cut them down to about a 2 inch bait. I'll show you how to do this. These are also scented. Procure good quality scent. You need that, and that's what we do compared to the others. Some are injected with, scent. Some have salt. That's just the way things are. And salt's been a big deal for a long time. I don't think the salt attracts them, but it keeps them to hold. It helps them to hold on to your bait a little bit longer because it's got a good flavor to it for the fish. But anyway, what I do is I'll take that bait. You'll see the line right here. You can see that line. All right. You go to the back part of that line. This one, right? Well, get it in here. The second one right here on that gap where the rib is at. You clip that off flat. You'll have that. Now just go around the edge of that, trimming it. This will help your bait run smooth. It won't drag in the water. And there you go. You've got a little beveled head to put that on your hook, and you got a shorter bait. Sometimes finicky crappie, they just want a shorter bait, or like Lewis was telling me, sometimes you got to match the size of the bait that's in the water that they're used to feeding on, and you can see I trimmed off, inch and a half there, and it doesn't hurt anything on the way it goes through the water. If you're buying Kitex, got nothing against some great bait. A lot of fish been caught on them. But if you're buying Kitex, they're more expensive than we are, and maybe you don't want to buy a pack and have to go cut them off. You know what I mean? But come check ours out. We got competitive pricing with that. We think we're not any better than Kitech, and of course it's hard to compete with somebody that's been around a little bit longer. But again, I want everybody to know I don't pour my plastics myself, but I've got all reign over colors and styles and what I want to do with them. Give me just a second. guess it's time to wake up. But anyway, you know, I've got all rain over color and styles and sizes, and we got some stuff that's going to be coming out here by next fall. You guys are going to love it. Excuse me, you guys are going to love it. Um, which actually will be smaller baits than the ones that I just showed you with the swim baits. But anyway, until next time, this is Perry Hensley, and we ask that you go check out those channels I mentioned. Go check out Asleep at the Reel, Flopping Crappie, um, Wired for Crappie. Check out, like I said, the Crappie Preacher. Um, all of those, the Next Cast, the Rico Outdoors, all those guys have informative videos, and you'll learn something from them like I have. And until we meet again, God bless you all, and we hope you have a great day.